Hi, second graders. On to chapter 16 in Guinea Dog, and it's called Dinner Conversation That Night Was Even Weirder Than Usual. Lorena called for you, Rufus, Dad said. The number is on the memo board. I knew what that was about, and I knew what my answer to her offer would be. I'll call her back later. I think I have a lead on the pet store, Mom said. Rudy in plumbing said one of the owners was in the hardware store, looking for some lighting fixtures because the store was moving to a new, bigger location over in Irondale. He doesn't think it was called Petopia, but couldn't say what it was called. I'm still certain it was Petopia. He says the new location is in that little shopping center across from the bowling alley. I think I'll drive over there tomorrow. Who wants to come? I didn't. I'd completely changed my mind about returning Fido, but I couldn't get my mouth to say the words. I wasn't ready to give up my dream of a real, live dog. I don't know if I want to return Fido. That wasn't me. It was Dad. That's right, Dad. Well, knock me down with a feather, Mom said, warming up to her, are you, honey? Dad's expression changed from slightly confused and a little embarrassed to mad. No, she is a ridiculous, noisy nuisance and a patently absurd idea for a pet. He noticed Mom looking a little hurt and added more gently, It just doesn't make any sense to me to keep such a thing indoors, or at all. In my opinion, that is. Mom smiled. I don't think I'm following this, I said. Well, Rufus, Dad said, looking confused and embarrassed again. It's just that I don't know if I've been entirely, fair about Fido. Since I started working at home, I've been a bit tense, I suppose. He looked at Mom, and she nodded encouragement. He sighed. Clearly, they'd been having talks. I think perhaps I've been too demanding, he continued, and perhaps too uncompromising and crazy, I suggested. He glared at me. I was the crazy one. You think? Mom said. Dad glared at her. Then he sort of grinned. Now don't gloat, Raquel. It isn't at all attractive. Mom straightened her smile into a seriousness and said, Sorry. Well, I mumbled, I don't want to return her either. Quick, get the smelling salts, Mom said, fanning herself with her hand. I'm definitely going to faint. But I still want a dog, I said over her laughter. Dad turned to me. His grin disappeared. Don't push it, son, he said. Be happy with what you've got. I'm certainly happy, Mom said. You're gloating again, Dad said. If I keep Fido, I interrupted, that means I can't ever have a dog, right? Ever? Rufus, if you don't keep Fido, you can't ever have a dog, Dad said. You cannot ever have a dog, Rufus. What part of that sentence don't you understand? He can say the cruelest things sometimes. I glanced at Mom. She looked down at her plate. I looked back at Dad. Be happy with what you've got, he said. Again, a little more sympathetically. Okay, I'm happy, see? I pretended to smile, but I'm sure it looked pretty nutty. You know, like when the Joker smiles. Happy me. No dog, but I'm happy. I'm happy with what I've got. I've got a guinea pig and no dog. Yippee! You said you wanted to keep her, Mom said. I think I was scaring her a little. Good. I didn't answer her. I fumed. Fuming feels good, warm and powerful. Well, since I won't be going to Irondale tomorrow, Mom said in a come-on, let's-all-cheer-up voice, how about we go on an outing instead? We could go to the river, to that spot we like. We haven't been there in ages. We could pack a picnic lunch. Maybe go for a hike? Dad shook his head. I didn't get enough work done this week. How about Sunday, then? Maybe. Not promising anything. Sunday okay with you, Rufus? KK, I said. This was the new debut of my okay. Dad scowled at me. Shot me down again. Sunday's fine, I said. Count me in. There was a knock on the front door the next morning, which was unusual because of the sign, but not unheard of. Not everybody reads signs or obeys them, if they do. I poked through the curtains in the living room and saw Lorena standing on the front porch. Oh, I'd forgotten to call her. Well, I didn't forget. I didn't want to. I was afraid people would find out I called her. Suddenly, I wished I'd called her. Though, because her coming over was way worse, I thought maybe I'd just ignore her. But she knocked again, louder, and I didn't want my dad to get annoyed. You didn't call me back, she said when I opened the door. That was rude. She was wearing a plaid skirt that touched her shoes, a pink blouse with puffy sleeves, and a vest. She was also wearing a very big hat with lots of fake flowers on it. I scanned the cul-de-sac for anyone who might know me. I'm keeping Fido after all, I whispered. I have to go inside now. Bye. I started to close the door. Why? She asked, slapping the door hard with her hand and pushing it open. I just do, I grunted. We wrestled with the door. Invite your friend in, Rufus, Mom said behind me. Perfect. I relaxed my grip on the door, and Lorena pushed her way in. Thank you, Rufus's mom, she said, beaming. Raquel, Mom said, holding out her hand to shake. Lorena held out hers, and they shook. Lorena Schraitz, Lorena said. I'm in Rufus's class at school. I peeked my head outside, looking for witnesses to this disaster. What is the matter with him? I heard Mom whisper to her. It's okay, Raquel. It's pretty typical behavior for boys his age. Mom laughed. I didn't. Instead, I put a secret, silent curse on Lorena's tongue and brain. Did you know Rufus didn't call me back last night? Mom laughed harder. I told him I would buy Fido from him, Lorena went on. You see, my hamster, Amherst, died, and my chinchilla, China Sea Hill, the C doesn't stand for anything, needs a playmate. And Rufus said you bought his guinea pig for him because he couldn't have a dog, and he really didn't want it, and that your husband hates it. The way Mom kept laughing, she must have thought everything out of Lorena's mouth was hysterical, which was funny, because I sure didn't. I didn't say I didn't want her, I said, which was true. Maybe not in those exact words, Lorena said, rolling her eyes. He's decided to keep her, Lorena, Mom said. But I'll let you two discuss the matter privately. She looked quickly from Lorena to me with this scary big smile, like she was hoping we'd get married one day. I panicked. No, Mom, don't go! She pried my fingers off her arm and said, Now you two have a nice chat while I do the breakfast dishes, okay? Then she left me alone in the living room with a girl. The sign's gone, Lorena said. Sign? The one on the door about no knocking and the code. It is? Dad must have removed it. Only he had that kind of authority. I wondered why he took it down. Was this part of his realizing he'd gone overboard since he started working at home? Where's Fido? Lorena asked. Upstairs in my bed. I couldn't finish that word. Not to her. I don't want you to go up. You can't see her right now. Can you bring her down? No, my dad's working. I pointed at his study door, but his Be Silent or Else sign, with its headstone with R.I.P. carved into it, was gone too. We have to be quiet. Oh, Lorena whispered. Can I see your Scrabble tile collection? It's up in my bedroom. No, not now. I was just heading over to Murphy's. Oh, she looked a little dejected. Then she brightened up. Can I come with? What was the matter with this girl? Are you friends with Murph? I asked her. Sure, I've known him since we were babies. We're going to ride skateboards. You're not really dressed for that, are you, Lorena? She looked down at her outfit and laughed. Maybe not. I'll run home and change and meet you over there. KK? That was the nail in the coffin of my new okay. I doubt we'll be at his house long. We'll probably head out right away. Riding. Where are you going to ride? We never know. Do you even own a skateboard, Lorena? No, but I have inline skates. Nice, I said sarcastically. Well, don't worry about me. I'll find you, even if it takes me all day. Goody! She headed for the door. Bye, Raquel! Mom rushed into the room. Dad opened his door a crack, sighed, and slammed it shut. Sorry, Rufus's dad, Lorena yelled in a whisper. Oh, don't worry about Mr. Grumpy, Mom said, waving her hand in the direction of my dad's study. Are you going so soon? Just to get my skates. Me and Ruf and Murphy are going riding. She pretended to skate. Fun, Mom squealed. I closed my eyes and tried to convince myself I was having some terrible nightmare I could not wake myself up from. Then I opened my eyes. No such luck. Lorena was leaning over, whispering in my mom's ear, loud enough for me to hear. I get the feeling this was probably the longest play date Rufus has ever had alone with a girl since he was little. Mom laughed. Play date? Lorena and Mom shook hands again. It was a pleasure meeting you, Raquel. You have a lovely home. Thank you, Lorena, and the pleasure was all mine. You are welcome any time. Finally, Lorena left, and I resumed normal breathing. Then I punched my mom in the shoulder and ran to my room. Chapter 17, we only have a couple more left. This one is called, I Was Tired of Living in That Freak House. Wonder what he's referring to. Bye, second graders.